Hi guys, and welcome back to our channel. In today's video we are going to be installing OSB for our flat roof. If you are new here, we recently bought a 1930s bungalow and we are doing it up ourselves. We're starting by adding the extension on the back.
Keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. I think that we've all had enough.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video I'm going to be tackling the roof. Fortunately I have a hand from one of our mates, so he's also a carpenter. He's going to be helping me with a lot of the heavy lifting, getting everything up on the roof, and we're just going to try and knock out as much as we can. As we started working, we were flying through using the PAS load, and then out of nowhere it just stopped working. For some reason it wasn't working with the 50mm ring shank nails, but it was working with the 100mm nails, which was a bit confusing. So we had to nip off, grab some screws and carry on fixing down the deck with screws.
While Lewis was up on top screwing everything in, Rhys was downstairs, well not downstairs but underneath the roof, cutting all the pieces. Luckily he was in the shade and me and Lewis were on the roof in the sun. At this point we'd already been up on the roof and doing bits for around an hour, so I decided to go off and make everybody bacon rolls.
So usually I use corded tools because when I'm on site I'm stuck in one position and I can just hook up the power, carrying on with all my work. But because I'm up and down the roof and I need to cut things on the roof, cut things on the ground, I've started actually buying Makita LXT range just so I can have cordless tools. I've got a couple of the drills. As you can see, I've got a saw, which I mentioned in another video. I've also recently picked up another tool, which you'll see in a video soon. But I'm really enjoying the Makita range. It's versatile and seems to be good quality. So you probably won't be able to tell in this video because it looks quite overcast, but it was around 28-29 degrees this day. It was absolutely scorching. So we stopped for plenty of water breaks just to make sure we stayed hydrated and jumped out of the sun and hid in the shade a lot just underneath the new roof.
Now that the roof is going on, I can really start to envision this room and see what it's going to look like. So I'm really excited for when the roof is totally complete. So we did have high hopes for this day. We did think that we'd get on the OSB, the vapour barrier, the insulation, and then the OSB again on top. But unfortunately, with all the furring pieces, with all the different angles, this did take us a little bit longer than we anticipated.
So as you'll see through the video now, you can see not only myself and Lewis working on the roof, but Natasha is giving us a helping hand, passing us things, being a very good delegator and just a general foreman. So with this roof, I've never done a flat roof on my own before, and there's quite a lot of outlets to get the rain to fall to. So it's lots of sort of ridges and valleys on this roof. So you'll probably see lots of cuts, awkward angles. With Lewis being an on-site carpenter all the time, he was really helpful because he was a lot quicker than I was. He just got the general knack of just getting the work done, whereas I spend a lot of time just thinking too much and slowing myself down. As you'll probably see in some of the clips, I spend most of my time measuring and writing stuff down. So the specification for this roof was 7x2 joists, then 5x2 furring pieces, top with 18mm OSB 3, and then a vapour barrier, then 120mm PIR insulation, then topped once again with a 18mm OSB 3. So as you can see through the video, we're working all on the first layer of OSB. Just getting this right will then allow us to get all the rest of the layers right and get everything sandwiched together properly.
Normally, when Rhys is doing any kind of block work or building, I normally just kind of leave him to it because there's not a lot I can really help with laying bricks because I don't know how to, and the bruise box is actually quite heavy. But with this, I thought that if there was anything that I could help with, that I would. I could see that putting in the screws looked quite straightforward, so I asked Rhys if that's something I could do. So yeah, I had a go. Only thing I would say is my legs were bloody killing me from kneeling. I'm really not used to that. Rhys and Lewis make everything look really easy. But yeah, I'm just not used to being on site, but that's okay. I gave it a go, and hopefully I helped a little bit.
So the final covering of this roof is actually a EPDM rubber roof. So I eventually ordered it in 2 sheets so I could do a join down the middle and make it a bit easier installing around the skylights. I did originally have a cost for the supply and install of this roof at £3,600, and I just needed to get it done, so I ordered it myself actually for £1,100 with all the adhesives, all the upstand flashings, all the contact adhesive, a couple of rolling tools. There probably is some other bits I forgot to mention, but for £1,100 that saved me £2,500.
I'm really glad that the architect decided to add 2 skylights into this room. As it's going to be quite a large area, I wanted as much light as possible. In our previous house, we lived on the hillside, and the houses above us would block a lot of the natural light that came in. Luckily now we live in on flatland, and we have a lot of sunlight, so this would be really lovely in this property and hopefully really open up the room. We're really fortunate that my brother-in-law has his own window fitting company, so we've ordered these skylights with him, and we will be ordering all the windows and doors with him, so that saved us quite a lot of money, as Rhys and him will be installing them for us.
You'll probably notice as well there's a scaffolding around the chimney. We're actually going to have this hacked off, re-rendered before we end up doing the tiled roof. And also before we do the tiled roof, I wanted to make sure I got all the rubber on and get it all watertight, and then I can then strip one side at a time off the roof, refelt and batten it, and start to retile it. As I'm going to be doing myself, once again, this is to save money. We had a few quotes to redo the tiled roof. One was extortionate at £22,000, another was at £12,000, and the cheapest we had was £7,600, which was actually quite reasonable. I thought it was going to be about £7,000 to £8,000, but I had already ordered the materials at this point because the £7,500 took a while to come through. So we are going to be tackling that in another video, so stay tuned for that. So you may notice that my blockwork wall isn't actually built up, which should be roughly about the same height as the skylight walls. And this is just because of the weather, and I was trying to prepare the roof ready for this weekend where me and Lewis were going to tackle the roof, because I knew it was going to be dry weather and I didn't want to waste any other days doing the blockwork. So I just pushed through to get it ready for Lewis and me.
Now that all the OSB had been put on, we needed to clean the area ready for the vapour barrier. While we had Lewis over as a helping hand, I thought it would be best that we would bring up some of the insulation sheets, just because they're quite big and they're not heavy, but they're just quite difficult to get up on the scaffolding, and it was easier to have as many hands as possible. By this point, it was already about 6 o'clock and Lewis had been here all day. It was time for Lewis to leave, and me and Rhys could plod on, just doing a few more bits, but we were so tired that we actually didn't end up getting much more done that evening.
So if you guys are enjoying this content, leave us a like and a comment below what you're enjoying about it, and if you haven't already, give us a little subscribe because it does help. So as you can see, we're putting the vapour barrier down. We've got some insulation up there just ready to hold down the vapour barrier, so as you can see it's blowing around quite a lot, and we're just going to fold this out, overlap it with a decent 200-300mm overlap, tape it all up and get it all up the upstands, and that's ready just to start the installation. And then once the installation's in, we can chuck the OSB on top. So the next video, guys, is going to be us finishing the installation on the OSB, which will be then ready for the rubber. So if you are looking forward to that, give us a like, comment and subscribe. Let us know if you guys would tackle something like this on your own as a DIY project, because it is quite a big scale for just me and Natasha, but we're giving it a go, trying to save as much money as possible, and hopefully in the end it'll all be worth it. Right, okay guys, so been very fortunate enough to have a hand today. So we've got all the deck OSB'd all the way around there as well. Got the upstands on, got a few sheets of insulation up, got some more sheets of OSB which is going to sit on top of this, sandwiched through with these 200mm screws. But yeah, and you sort out all this plastic, get it all taped up, get it up the upstands, and just get it all sort of sealed for a vapor barrier, and then I can work on getting my walls built up off there, and I can get my external walls built. Rubber's coming Monday, so I got all day tomorrow to get it sorted. So yeah, that's the plan for this evening. Carry on sort of sorting the plastic out, get some boards on and sandwiched in, and then yeah, we'll go from there. So we've got a bit of a odd section here. I wanted the rainwater to fall both ways this way without rain falling into the skylight. So what I've done is I've created a slope up to it in a sense, like a bridge. Create two slopes out that way. But what that has made now is like sort of an angled fall this way. So all I've done is cut my insulation half width, and I've then diagonally put a slash through it just to give it a bit of movement in it. So when that side's fixed down like so, this side can fix down and go like that. I'm going to put a tape across it. I could probably put a bit of foam in it and then tape across it, and that gives that sort of ease for the board to then compress and get the falls correct.